recharge. वो तो है ना वहाँ पे चलो भी है I won't have a color mic.
मैम कॉल माइक एक उनको देते हैं तो मैडम को ये वाला माइक प्लस 5 माइक होंगे ना तो 4 माइक है 4 माइक हैं हाँ ठीक है
Yes, I do. So a big, warm welcome. All of us together today, and namaste. It's really heartening to see so many of you here today from different missions across the world joining us in an effort really made by the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, ICCR. It is rare to have someone like the Director General, Dinesh Patnaik, who's with us today. It's his inspiration, it was his wish that we bring forth this part of Indian culture to people of the world who are sitting here, each of you who represent your countries, your cultures, your nations. It's an important moment in the transition in our world where wellness, mental wellness, spirituality, health are becoming big concerns. It's indeed going to be an interesting experience. We will practice a little bit. We'll have some meditation, we'll have some yoga, and most of you must be already familiar with the word yoga. But let's talk about it from a scientific point of view, and let us see how culture can usher in the best that human life has to offer. So when we explore something multidisciplinary like this, I'll be very happy that we start off by inviting Dinesh Patnaik, that most of you know and appreciate, to give us a welcome moment, and then we'll move on from there to talking about how yogic practices, how meditation and contemplative science as it's known today can bring about a big change in our lives and the lives of people we live with. So.
Thank you, Ekta. The worst thing that anybody can do is get between the real work and the speech. So I'm not going to speak much. I just wanted to tell you the whole idea was that we in ICCR take Indian culture across the world. And we have the rest of the world sitting here in Delhi. So we decided, why don't we take parts of our aspects of our culture to the ambassadors, diplomats, and missions here in Delhi. And one of the few things which we saw during COVID is the requirement of de-stressing oneself. Mental anxiety, stress, everybody started getting it. And India has such a long tradition of having techniques which de-stress you, which give you a life which is sustainable and in harmony with nature, that we decided let's do it together. Now there are many traditions in India. Yoga traditions, there is Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Astanga Yoga, you name it. There are many spiritual traditions also. Many gurus who have different spiritual traditions which they have led. So we have a cornucopia of traditions across in India. Today you are going to see one aspect of it, which is a beautiful aspect because it actually marries both cultural traditions and scientific traditions. It basically is heartfulness. You have heard of mindfulness, this is heartfulness. They will tell you more about it. It's not me who's the expert. But please enjoy yourselves, let yourselves loose, I'm also very tired today, so I'm going to also do whatever is necessary. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. So let's see what they can do to actually make us feel distressed. Thank you very much and enjoy yourselves.
Oh, sure. Well, you said you want to experience. Okay, so I'll just introduce myself. My name is Ekta Buderlik. I am part of the Heartfulness Institute. I am in charge of the university programs and the programs on yoga. Our headquarters are in Hyderabad in India, and we're present in 160 countries around the world. I've lived for a long time in France, donc bonjour et bienvenue à tous ceux qui parlent français. Très content de vous avoir ici aujourd'hui. We will have a session to begin with because, like Dinesh Patnaik said, you're just back from office. And we just start with a little bit of yoga. So if you finished your tea, we can have just chair yoga. We aren't going to put you on your mats today. So if you're up for it, shall we have a little bit of chair yoga just to get in shape? Yes. And we go for the deeper stuff, right? So this is your program for today. We'll be introducing a little bit on chair yoga and pranayama, and then we'll go on to understanding the potentiality of the heart and how the heart plays a very important role in this process of meditation. Why? So we have our expert here who will speak about it today. We'll have some understanding of the research and the benefits of this from the science point of view, and that I think could be very interesting if you would like to then question, find out what is our cardiologist who's come here today, especially for that, and who's also a trainer of Heartfulness, going to speak to us about. We'll have an interactive session, and right in the middle of it, we'll have a proper meditation session. So if you meditated before, grand. If you haven't, well, welcome. This is going to be a lovely experience. Let's begin. So I'd like you to just sit comfortably on your chairs. And if I can do it wearing my sari, which is actually a very comfortable dress, you could do it in whatever dress you're wearing. So please don't worry and don't hesitate. But of course, I'd like you to put your telephones away. Telephones are, you could keep them, but you could probably put them on silent for a while and just leave the world outside the doors, because this is the time you take for yourself. Okay? So we'll get working. I'll just take off my shoes. Okay, so we just sit down, and first thing, okay, I'm going to hold my mic and do the yoga. Your chair is, you can sit with your back to the chair if you have any back issues. But if you're okay with your back being comfortable, you can come up to the edge of your chair a little bit. Okay? And we're going to do some work on our spine, because that's the column, that's all your nervous system, that's the support of your body, and that's the axis of you connecting with the earth and standing up and having your posture. So it's very important for health and the mind. So we'll start with our feet slightly apart, okay? And if you could also put your feet on the ground. So the men, of course, you won't take off your shoes. It's quite complicated. But our ladies, if you would like to, of course, kick off your shoes and sit with your feet to the floor, that's very comfortable. Okay. So your hands on your knees. And let's take a few good breaths. Okay, a few good breaths which are going to give us the first experience of being comfortable. So your right hand comes to your tummy, your stomach. And let us begin by first taking a breath in. When you take your breath in, you're going to expand your stomach, because this is diaphragm breathing. Okay, so let's go for it. With your nose, breath in and out. Let's do it again, this time with eyes closed. Breathe in and breathe out. Take it deeper this time. Take your breath in. Expand your stomach as much as you want to. Be comfortable. And exhale through your nose. Okay. Again, take your breath in deep and comfortable. And let it out. Wonderful. You may open your eyes now. And let us start with the first movement of the spine. So let us stretch to the heavens. Request you to put your hands together like this. Straight up. And stretch. Take it all the way up to heaven. And feel the movement. You can move a bit. You're feeling your spine now, right? This is already letting go. Okay? Down. Hands on your knees. And if you have a tendency like me to cross your legs, you'll enjoy being with your feet a little apart. Okay. Now, let us take our first movement. So your left hand is on your left knee and your right hand starts going up. And take it to the other side gently, very gently. There's no need to push yourself. Okay, try and keep your shoulder over your hip so you're not going this way, you're not leaning in, but just a little stretch to the right side. So open up your right side. Wonderful. Feel the stretch and go for, yes, gently, very gently. Yoga is gentle. You come back. This time, the left hand, you go on the other side. Try to keep your hip above your shoulder so that you're stretching and you're expanding on the side and you're not bringing the spine to an extreme position. Wonderful. Just a little bit. Can you feel it on this side? Great. Now we'll take it a little further and you'll hold the side of your chair. So with your left hand, you'll find the side of your chair in spite of the cloth. Hold it and now take your hand across the body. Inhale, go up. We'll match breath to movement. Little bit, don't overexert. And exhale, bring it down. Great. We do the same thing now with a gentle twist to the spine. Okay, so your right hand goes on your left knee and you move your arm around and hold the back of your chair and twist a little bit. You're twisting from the stomach, so your hips are comfortably placed. As much as you can go, not more. And exhale and bring it back. Wonderful. Let's do the same thing on the other side. And your right hand on your left knee. Take it back. Wonderful. And remember, you're twisting. Keep your head high. And gently bring it back. Okay, so your internal organs are beginning to already get a little massage, which is really nice. We will do one more beautiful movement of the spine. So you're going to take your hands back, hold the back of your chair, both hands. Okay, hold your chair at the back and then gently start looking up and arching the spine. Looking up, don't crack your neck, very gently. And then bring it down with an exhale and bring your chin to your chest. Wonderful. Let's do this again. Inhale, go up. And exhale, let go of your day. Just one more time. Inhale, take it up with a gentle movement, using your back to arch. And let's take it in the other direction, chin to chest. Exhale. Wonderful. Come back to neutral position. And now we will take a forward bend. So you need to bend and take your head just below your heart, not more. Okay, so you can hold on to your chair or your knees as you feel. And let's take a little bend forward. You can bend from your hips. Wonderful. Remember, you're bending from your hips. You can let your head dangle. And slowly, one vertebrae at a time, you raise up very slowly. The last one to come up gets an extra cookie. That's it. Wonderful. Yeah, we get the tendency to move fast, right? Let's do it once again, very slowly, even slower if possible. So let's inhale on our way down. Take a breath here. So inhale, exhale, and inhale very gently all the way back up. Wonderful. Right? Now, one last thing we'll do with our toes. And I know if you got your shoes on, it's going to be tough, but well, it's okay. You can try with your fingers. So hold your hands out in front of you. Yes, a little bit thriller arms. Yeah. And your feet also are there. You don't need to hold them up, but you just feel your feet. Now, when you can do this with your arms, with your fingers, just, and your toenails, yes. And when you exhale, you let it go. Inhale, exhale. That's nice. Inhale again. Exhale, let it go. All right, wonderful. Come back. This, even if you do this sitting after your desk every day, anytime you want to, these 2 minutes, 5 minutes can get you into shape. Now, we will do our first session of introducing you to heartfulness. Okay, this is just a little yoga to get you to be awake and feeling a little bit better. Of course, you can do yoga much more in terms of how you carry this in your day. But work yoga, yoga at work, a few minutes sitting at your desk can change a lot, because right now what we did has spread energy to certain areas of your body, redistributed it in such a way that you feel very comfortable within already, right? And you'll feel a little bit more awake because of the head bend and the forward bend. Simple, right? It isn't that complicated. There's lots more to yoga. But if you're yawning and if you're feeling the breath already feeling working, that means that there is something that is already getting distributed within you. The energy is equalizing. That's really nice. We'll go on to our next session and introduce you to heartfulness. Now, this is a whole different thing. And for this, I would like to call upon my colleague, Dr. Rahul Mehrotra, should come on stage. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Rahul Mehrotra is a cardiologist. He's working as a non-invasive cardiologist in India for a long time. And what's nice about him is he's also a heartfulness meditation trainer. He's been doing this for a long time now, and one of the things that he most specializes in is research. So obviously he's going to share a part of that with us afterwards. Research on how meditation, contemplative science can actually change the physiology, because today we are advancing in finding evidence for how this works. So you're not going to just believe when I tell you that energy is getting distributed. You can find out how it's actually doing so. We have research being conducted on gene expression, on the way your blood changes, and the effect of it on sleep, on states of cognition. And he's going to talk to you a little bit about that, but of course, after having led you through also an experience, right? So I'm handing over to Dr. Mehrotra. Thank you.
Thank you. I have
He's got his mic.
Very good evening, sisters and brothers. Good evening, sir. So after this relaxation that you just experienced, let me tell you, this is just the very, very small part of yoga. And let me clarify first of all what yoga is, because this term is a lot abused and misused and misconstrued. So yoga derives from the Sanskrit word, the root yuj, which means to join. So by stretching and by breathing, what can we join with what? Obviously, we can't join anything by physically exercising. So the yoga, what union or joining it talks about is the union with the ultimate, with the original condition, with the ultimate consciousness that we have, or union with the absolute. We may call it the ultimate being, God, whatever we'd like to say. So this was what was yoga,
and there were several approaches to attaining that, as was expounded by Dinesh Patnaik ji. So there were many schools and many ideas towards achieving that ultimate human potential. But Saint Patanjali, a few thousand years ago, codified all this and gave a very systematic approach. Ashtanga Yoga means 8-step approach. And he divided these steps into simple physical practices, which we call as Hatha Yoga, because these are practices related to our body-mind, which means having good conduct, good behavior, good habits, maintaining our body in shape, regulating our breath by pranayama. But this is not going to lead us to the ultimate. So then came Raja Yoga. You've been reading about Raja Yoga time and again. So Raja Yoga is the yoga of the mind. Raja means king. It is the king amongst yogas. And that is the final destination, and this is where meditation comes in. So it is through Raja Yoga alone which we can reach the ultimate purpose of yoga, or we can achieve union, or we can achieve yoga. So yoga means also the practices, and yoga also means the destination. It's a verb and a noun. So with that background, I think it will be easier to talk when I talk about meditation. Because asanas are good, pranayams are good for feeling fit, but definitely not the ultimate purpose of our existence. So this was the potential of the heart is the topic that we are going to speak about. So as a cardiologist, as a student of biology, I think we've all passed through biology in our schools at some level. So this is the potential of the heart, the physical potential. Let's begin. It's a wonderful pump. And I often compare it to the best pump you have, the best engine you can think of, the most expensive motor car, the most expensive vehicle. How many hours in a day can you run that? And how much servicing do you have to do? How much rest you have to do? How much money you spend on the upkeep? And here is this remarkable pump. Starts pumping before we were born. The first organ to start working, 5th week of life. And the last organ to stop. Why the last organ to stop? Because we don't die when our kidneys fail. We don't die when our livers fail. We don't die when our brain stops. We call it brain death. We define death when the heart stops. So it has something more than just a physical potential of pumping blood, working relentlessly. Day, night, no weekends, no weekday offs, nothing. That is the potential of the heart. But remarkable as it is in terms of physical potential, it has enormous other potentials also, which we begin to think when we look at the definition of death. What is there in the heart that we can't do without a beating heart, we can do without all the other organs? So this was recognized by the person who gave us the circulatory system, Sir William Harvey, clearly recognized that this heart that we are seeing with naked eye is not just the simple pump. He eulogized heart in beautiful terms, the foundation of life, the prince of all. He was not talking about brain. Eons later, we've moved towards eulogizing brain, appreciating human brain, and forgotten about the potential of the heart. So this is the most ancient text. It's not right to call it scripture, it's not right to call it text, because these were passed through oral traditions before they were codified or written down by saints. They were passed from generation to generation, the Vedas, which literally translate into knowledge. So this is what the Vedas have to say about the most ancient human knowledge available. Talks about the heart in terms of the seat of divinity, the seat of life, where life resides. Moving on, Bhagavad Gita, another very, very remarkable text on stress management. We can recall it in modern times. A person faced with a very, very grave situation, what should he do? Here was a sermon given to him, if he could like to think it like that. So here is what it is said: I am seated in everyone's heart, not in kidneys, not in brain. Why heart? Again, reference to heart. The Supreme Lord resides in everyone's heart. This is not just restricted to our country where we've been talking about heart, it comes from all cultures of the world. Look at the importance of the heart by different cultures. You're more familiar in all these aspects as compared to me. But this is what we felt, that while looking at the potential of the heart, everybody has agreed that it is the key organ in the body. The Chinese believe in it. The Japanese have two words for it. The physical heart is different, and they have the mind of the heart. The heart has the ability to think. And we also use this word courage. Courage is not in biceps, not to be found in gyms. We realized that courage was needed during COVID times when we were seeing patients in our hospitals, and there was a lot to talk about. So where does courage lie? In the heart. And this word is derived from core, heart. We want to encourage somebody. Encouragement is putting it into the heart. So there is some meaning behind these words originating from the heart. And of course, we've all felt, most of us have, I believe. You may not like to concede, but we felt heartbreaks, we felt heartburns. Why not any other organ burn or any other organ break? Why are we so obsessed with hearts as human beings? There is something there, wholesome potential. So after all these years and ages having worshipped brains, worshipped intellect, worshipped intelligence, we're coming back a full circle. And science is now recognizing the other potential of the heart, which is more than just being a muscular pump, which is supposed to function for us, serve us day in and day out. So these are some wonderful new researches which is worthwhile going through whenever you get an opportunity, which is throwing up remarkable new information that is taking back to those times. That those were not myths, those were not mythology, those were actual facts which were talked about. This wonderful book we were just discussing with a cup of tea, The Heart's Code by Dr. Paul Pearsall, a clinical neuropsychologist, has done wonderful experiments on heart transplant patients. And he's shown that the recipients who received hearts developed characteristics of the donor, even though the two were not allowed to know each other or meet each other. These are fantastic referenced publications which document the immense potential of the heart, and this is the conclusions that they are reaching to now. Hardcore biologists are now talking what our ancient scriptures have always talked about, our philosophers have talked about, our poets have talked about, that heart is the seat of love. Heart feels. The sense organ, the sense of feeling is in the heart. It's not in the brain. The heart has the ability to remember, to communicate with other hearts in the vicinity. And he starts the book with a wonderful description of ECG, how we record the ECG on the surface of the skin. So the vibrations of the heart are coming out, and why they would not stop at the skin. They are being transmitted outside and being perceived as vibes by people around us. So there's a great deal of catching up which science is doing now in terms of exploring the other potentials of the heart, realizing the true role of heart in our body. And this was, by all, everybody accepts, the greatest mind of our times, again conceding to the power of mystical. Albert Einstein talking about the power of mystical. So this was about potential of the heart, coming from the cardiology perspective, science perspective. We still teach and are being taught about the heart in terms of just being a muscular pump. Blockages happen, you can get bypasses done, you can get stents put in, and that's enough about heart. But is it? My other exploration have been in the journey which I have parallelly undergone along with my cardiology training, has been in heartfulness meditation. I've been practicing for almost more than 2 decades now, and it's nobody else's except other than my own conviction, which I have experienced with this practice, which brings all the motivation to share the practice with everybody I come across. And I've seen how science cardiology is now coming towards accepting these facts. So about Heartfulness, it's a worldwide institute, not-for-profit organization, and Heartfulness offers not just meditation, which is something unique. There are several aspects which are unique about Heartfulness. One of those is that Heartfulness is not only about meditation. It's a very systematic and scientific set of practices designed to cover the 24 hours of our existence and very well suited for people like us who have limited time, who all lead worldly lives. We have families to look after, other needs to take care of. So this very nicely fits into the set of core practices. We have Heartfulness relaxation, a 3 to 4 minute relaxing the body very quickly. Any time of the day, anybody can do it. Heartfulness meditation as one of the core practices we are going to experience right now. Relaxation and meditation. We also have something called Heartfulness cleaning or rejuvenation. A very, very practical tool, demand of the times, as we witnessed just now. After a hectic day, sir was mentioning, at our workplaces, negotiating traffic, going back home. It's a wonderful tool to unclutter or declutter your mind with all the impressions we formed. We of course clean our hands, wash our feet, but what about the impressions that we formed on our consciousness, on our psyche? How to get rid of them, which determine our future reactions, which determine our behavior. We all subconsciously keep taking in impressions throughout the day's activities, and that is what burdens us. So this wonderful tool at the end of the day, cleaning, I find it very practical and very useful for all of us working professionals. You can just get rid of all the mental impressions and see for yourself how light and refreshed you feel. And then there is a bedtime practice about connecting with our source, because as students we often are worried like 1/3 of my life is going to be wasted sleeping, not going to do anything while sleeping. But it recognizes the fact that even while you are sleeping, the work goes on, your consciousness is connected to your source, and you get a completely different kind of sleep, a very deep and relaxing kind of sleep. Again, that is something to be experienced rather than me talking about it. So we'll have a session on relaxation and meditation just now. But we also have some detox practices, as was talked about, the need of the time which COVID brought very nicely in front of us. We all were looking at ways of getting rid of anxiety, panic, stress, depression, all these put together. And we have some micro practices which we've designed looking at the need: stress detox, fear detox, anger detox. Very simple techniques. I have used them, continue to use them in my clinical practice. A patient comes to me with panic attacks. She just fears whenever the aircraft takes off, and at least once aircraft has had to be stopped because of that particular patient. I practiced one of these with her, and she called back after reaching her destination that, thank you, I was able to reach my destination in the flight and I was able to overcome my panic. So very simple and very practical tools we do have. We have a lot of these tools on the YouTube channel, Heartfulness YouTube channel. A simple 1-2 minute videos which you can use for all these purposes. So let's experience heartfulness. Let's experience meditation. So I invite Sister Ekta again. So one of the unique features of heartfulness is something called pranahuti or yogic transmission. There are so many systems, as I was saying, of meditation prevalent, but what is unique about heartfulness? One, we meditate on the heart, and we know why now. The other is this unique feature called yogic transmission, which is derived from the Sanskrit word pranahuti, which means life of life. So this is a very difficult to define entity. You can call it a forceless force or an energy from the source, always present, which is channelized with the help of a trainer. I happen to be your trainer for today. And this is what makes the task very easy. So because of this transmission coming to you when you meditate with the help of a trainer, you are able to dive deep into those states of consciousness within the first few sessions. So let's have a practical experience of yogic transmission today for ourselves. So before that, just take a moment, observe yourself, just make a note of your state of mind right now. If you want to write, we can write, because this will be again a scientific exposition of before and after, whether there was an effect or there was no effect. So, Sister Ekta, please lead us through relaxation first and then meditation.
Okay, so if you could take a couple of seconds, just note down how you're feeling in there today, what's going on within you, how's your state today, right? You could note it down, you could make a mental note of it, whatever, and just observe yourself, because it's how we feel within ourselves that's really important, right? So you're feeling happy, are you feeling elated, are you feeling stressed out, is things difficult today? Is your mind all over the place? Are you feeling collected or happy to be here, etc.? Right? Give you a couple of seconds. You could close your eyes and take time to feel that. Can we have the lights dimmed a little bit in the hall, please? Thank you. Okay. Yes. Wonderful. And yes, if you could have your mobiles on silent so that you don't disturb the people next to you in case they get into relaxation. And let us begin by sitting comfortably, your feet on the floor. In case you're holding on to something, you may want to put it on the table next to you so that you're not disturbed. Please feel your back against the chair, comfortable. Your hands in front of you in your lap. And let's gently close our eyes. Let's begin with the feet. So please take your awareness to the feet and begin to imagine that your feet are completely relaxed. If you're holding any tension, take a mental note and allow it to release itself. Take your awareness up towards your ankles, your calf muscles and your legs. And as you begin to scan your legs, allow all that tension that you're holding on to just drift away. Let go of your day thus far. Begin to take your awareness up towards your thighs and your hips. Allow your muscles to relax, your legs to fall heavy in the chair. Let go of everything. Imagine a beautiful energy from Mother Earth going up your feet, your legs, your knees, relaxing everything in its passage. Bring your awareness now towards your waist, your chest, and relax everything. Allow your shoulders to be relaxed as if a weight has been lifted. Feel your shoulders almost melt away. Take your awareness now gently towards your upper arms, your elbows all the way to your fingertips, and relax everything. Let's take our attention now towards our back. From the top of the back to the bottom of the spine. The entire back is relaxed. Check in and see if there's any tension in any of those muscles. Let go of it. Allow your back to get completely relaxed. Unwind and relax your neck muscles, the front of the neck, the back of your neck. Feel your face become soft, your jaws, the muscles around your mouth, even your ears. Allow everything to just gently fall into place. All those tiny little muscles around your nose and your eyes are so relaxed. Your forehead, all the way to the top of your head, everything is completely relaxed. Now, scan your body from the feet, the legs, your hips, your chest, all the way to the top of your head. If there's anything that needs to be relaxed even further, allow things to just fall into place. Take a deep breath in and let's begin to gently start turning our attention towards the heart. Bring your awareness towards the place where your heart beats. In that space, imagine that there is a luminosity, as if it is all lit up, it is all alight, with an inner light. Allow yourself to be drawn towards the heart and get absorbed in this feeling of being good within yourself. Slowly let yourself just be within that space of the heart. Remain receptive and allow things to just happen. Stay this way, meditating on the heart. Your eyes gently close till I tell you that it is done. If there are any thoughts, anything that disturbs you, that's okay. Just bring your awareness back to the heart. Gently, very gently. Let's begin our meditation. Please start.